Okay, I'm back with some more rambling. You know, just freeing my mind of thoughts that I normally think of. I'm not under any influence right now, so these are like uninfluenced thoughts. And as of the other one recordings too, they're uninfluenced. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not going to have any uninfluenced thoughts on here, because that's lying. I'm lying. Um, Honestly, this ramble might just be, well, I don't want to force any rambling. I don't really want to force a ramble, because when you force stuff, it becomes completely different. It's not even the same thing it once was before. Like if I force, like I used to draw just for me, just for my brain to be happy, because I was actually using my creativity when it sparked. Like when my creativity sparked up, I hopped on it with a pencil, some colors, and drew pictures all the time. And then I went to school for it, where I had to force it on other people's schedules. And I'm like, at first I thought it would be like art class, but to actually try to do it for a job, it's not like art class. When people are critiquing, and not only critiquing, making sure that you understand different stuff about art, and I'm like, bruh, it became a job. And a little fun fact about Rachel, jobs don't last long in my head for some reason. If I'm told to do something for a long time, or if I'm told to do anything, really, honestly, it doesn't last long. If I'm not telling myself to do it, it's gonna end up me leaving. Yeah, I'm only 26, but I had a fair amount of jobs in different places, different areas of the work field. It started off simple. I worked at a Taco Bueno for a good 2 weeks. Quit. Then I worked at a grocery store for a good couple of months. Quit. Went back to school. Then my next job was, I believe it was a restaurant. Worked at a restaurant for a good week. Quit. This is sad, by the way. I mean, it's funny to me now, because it's like, dang, I had a lot of jobs, but I ended up quitting. Only because of, I don't know, the mental stress I received on some jobs I just couldn't handle. I'm not trying to make that an excuse, but it was just like, if I didn't like it, I didn't like it, and I left. I could have stayed at the grocery store, because it's like, it's not as fast paced as a fast food restaurant. People don't really, I mean, it's more one-on-one interactions. There's not a huge pressure of getting something right, because you're just scanning objects, and they understand it's a grocery store and all this. But yeah, I like working at grocery stores. I know that for a fact. Grocery stores, It's like some place I can actually be at for a minute. Cause I mean, it's like the pace. It's like the perfect pace for me. Cause I can go fast if I want to, or slow if I want to, and it is really cool. Um, but what's another place I've worked at? Restaurants, no, it's way too fast paced and super confusing for me. Um, it's like I couldn't even get down hosting. Hosting was just downright confusing. And I was just like, dang, I can't even wrap my head around seating people per section. And that's all it was. It was just because there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. The kitchen was busy. The bar was busy. Waitresses and waiters just walking around. Everything was busy. And it's like my mind is everywhere with it. And trying to focus on what I was doing was just crippling. Ugh. After the hold on. What? Okay. Stay under the cover, dude. It's kind of chilly in here. After that, I believe that I think I was suspended. Like, I'm telling you, man, trying to stay on track, super hard. I mean, my track is not the normal track. Like, my track is not work and all that. It's like really just keeping up with my own body. Until I get that figured out. That's how I've been moving. Okay, I'm trying to take things. I was just hoping to be able to take something slow, but the world is full of different paces. Like right now, I'm doing the rad rambling. And this is a pace that I can actually deal with because I talk to myself a lot. And just being able to just pick up the phone whenever I feel like talking. Instead of just, I mean, I like just talking to myself in an empty room. But actually putting it to some use, I guess. Oop. Bless thee. It's pretty cool too. But like I said, after the restaurant job, I believe I was in the warehouse, in a Kohl's e-commerce warehouse. I lasted there for a good minute, like the whole summer. No, actually from March to the end of the summer, which was pretty cool because, I mean, they gave me the B shift, like the weekend shift, which started on Thursday and ended on Saturday. I was only there for 3 days. And I only did 25 hours. And that's 10 hours for Friday and Saturday. And just 5 hours on Thursday. I liked the job, but it was a lot of wear and tear on my body. I was able to keep up with majority of my duties and actually be fast enough because when you're in the warehouse, you're basically just doing your job by yourself, which I like. and you're just trying to get through the day based off the task that you have been assigned. And the faster you get majority of the orders done, the faster you can, like, honestly, I wouldn't say just chill out, but if there's no more orders to be filled, they can't say you're not working. And it was just it's a long building. The building was a mile long, and they had also stairs, like a 3-story thing in there where you had to go get a Pikmin, where you had to go get the items for orders. You box up your order sometimes if it's too late to be sent to the packaging part. Sometimes you had to get them specially wrapped, take them all the way to gift wrapping. It's a whole bunch of stuff you do within that one building. I was doing a lot of stuff, like just a lot of stuff, like they put me in charge of the computer, like orders, like cancels and stuff. Like if somebody canceled an order online, we had to go on the computer and say that order was canceled and not fulfilled, and everything was put back in its place. I was relieved at that position only because I would only pick one person to do the jobs for me. Only, it's like, because I was going based off of who I knew, who I was comfortable with saying their name. Once again, I have so many weird things to get over and get used to. I met one dude in the thing, in the warehouse, that I became cool with because he was okay and he didn't talk sexual to me. And I remember his name, so he was my main go-to when it came to those jobs. And they relieved me of that position and gave it to somebody else because she was able to pick everybody or anybody who was near to do the job. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. I mean, I learned something. I was using Excel. I was learning how to do more things on that, but like other than that, I was pretty okay. Being in the Pikmin used to really make time go by fast because those 10 hours, man, they used to drag sometimes. It wasn't enough work, or if it was too much work, that's fine, because when you come back to refill up your work, you wasn't looking around like what is this, what is that, but I think that was a cool job. It's just my body was like, at some point I was just like, I won't be able to keep up with 40 hours a week. These 25 hours a week make my body feel so weak, because when I was done with the weekend, like Sunday come, I couldn't get out of the bed. Like, my body would be like, okay, it's time to rest. Like, once I reached that resting point, I was just like, man, I can't even move. Like, this is really good for me right now. I can't even move. And then it repeated next Thursday. But yeah. That was a cool job. After that summer, I went back to school. Because I was on a suspension, or something happened. Yeah, I was on suspension, something, where I couldn't go back that semester, and I had to wait until the next semester to go back to school. So I ended up going back to school, and this time I was able to get a job at Taco Bell, and I got hired on my birthday, which was really nice. I was there for a nice minute. I was there from November to February, which was really nice because I was learning how to do a lot of stuff there too. First time actually staying at a fast food restaurant long enough to work the drive-through, which I was pretty decent. I wouldn't say I was the best, but I was able to take orders and pass out food, and I was learning how to make food too, which is pretty cool. Just running back and forth, doing the dishes, taking the front, cleaning up, refilling food, reheating food, making food. It's just like, it was a really busy little job whenever we had got a little rush. But other than that, it was pretty cool. I used to walk to work every day because it was right down the street. Even in like the ice, like it had iced in Texas where I was at school at, and I would even walk in the ice. Other people would too, but I was just remembering every day. It didn't matter if it was raining, snowing, hot, cold. I was walking to work, and shoot, one day I even got the flu, and they was like, oh, you need to go to the doctor and get a note. And I was like, bro, I'm not going to the doctor. I don't really need to go to the doctor to get over this flu. And if y'all gotta write me up, y'all gonna have to write me up, because I'm not leaving this bed until I feel better. Because it took 3 days, and I was off for like 4 days after that. Only because it was working around my school schedule. And shoot, I felt better. I got better. But then I ended up leaving that job in February, and I went to Sam's Club, and I was in the bakery. I was in the bakery part, learning how to write on cakes and learning how to bag bread and box muffins and cookies and stuff. I like that job a lot. I left only because I should have stayed. But I left. I like that job a lot because it was really slow paced. Really, honestly, was standing around for like 8 hours a day. That's it. Just standing around because the bakery didn't get that busy. Cake orders did come, but I wasn't a cake decorator, so once the cake decorators left, I was just in there trying to keep things clean. I would do what they call donations by myself. I wouldn't restock, but yeah, restock. After I was done boxing up stuff, I had to restock, put all the dates together, make sure there was no expired stuff on the table or in the bakery section, period. Yeah, it was a really easy job. Slow paced, easy, and just, it was a good paying. I wouldn't say it was just the best paying, but they paid me $9.20 an hour, which is a good paying. Then what else? What was the next job after that? Because I went home after that. I don't think I got a job over that summer. And then I went back to school, and I was not able to get a job. I was not able to get a job that year. I didn't even stay. I was actually focusing on my schoolwork more. I actually passed my classes with good grades. And then I signed up for summer school and then didn't go to summer school. And then come to find out I had signed up for something. Well, I didn't even sign up for it because it was pending on their computer, and when it was pending, that means that I was still registered for summer school, because they said if you don't show up for if you don't pay for the school, which I didn't, your classes will be canceled. And I was just like, all right, they can just cancel the class. But then since on my profile something was pending, like I think a parent loan was pending, the classes were still under my name and stuff, and I got charged for summer school, didn't even go, and that was it. Like, I went back to go get my stuff because I left it. I had moved my stuff into my dorm room before I had left for the summer. But then, yeah, I went home and then was like, I don't even want to go to summer school no more. I be making decisions, dude. Not the best. Living in the moment is cool, but living in the moment ain't good for like long-term decisions. Yep, after that, I was at home and I was able to get my last job at home at a grocery store. I only stayed there for a couple of months, and then I moved back to where I went to school at and got a job at McDonald's. Didn't stay there for that long, and then I came back to Oklahoma. Since I didn't receive no therapy or nothing, still working on it, by the way. Still trying to muster up some strength to go talk to somebody. About my mind, I guess, but I honestly want to make a doctor appointment first. Came back to Tulsa. The first job I had here was hold on, it's kind of hard to even think. The first job I had here was at the sex store. That was the first job I had here. I didn't have that many jobs here. But the first one I had was at a sex store, which was very, very exciting. Like, I learned a whole bunch, and I was running into a whole bunch of characters. Like a whole bunch of characters, and listening to a whole bunch of stories, too. Learning about toys. I never knew nothing about toys. Never even had one before. It was the most exciting job I've had. It was just really, really, really cool to even be hired. Like, I was hired, and I was just like, wow, they hired me? I don't know nothing about these toys. And it was really fun. In the store, normally, and it was ran by all women, and we worked the store by ourselves majority of the time. And that was too cool to me, because it's like, wow, I am running my own little old storefront. I mean, it's not under my name, but this is how it is to have a store and be responsible for a whole store down From the cleaning to the security to loss prevention to sales to cashier. I mean, from everything. And it was pretty freaking cool. I left that job because they weren't paying a lot. I mean, I was getting like $300, $10 every 2 weeks. And I was selling more than that. Like, yeah, that's the first time I was like, I would be open for a commission job, because the pay was really, really low compared to the amount of work. But I did take everything I learned from there, and I liked it. What's another thing? Then I was a waitress at a strip club, which was fun too, because I was making good tips. I didn't know waitresses could make that much. I would bring at least, if it wasn't 150, at least 130 on a good night. Sometimes not that good, but 130, 150. Which was cool with me. Alright. People, I mean, the money game is the money game, but like, I was taking whatever I can get. Like, I wasn't, because I just know that I'm not that well at speaking. So I was taking whatever I get, and selling is hard in a place where you have to yell over the music. People gotta hear you over the music. But yeah, that was a fun job too. Shoot, first time in a strip club. Well, not the first time in a strip club, but the first time, like, I mean, I was seeing what strippers do. I was seeing what bartenders do. I was learning how to sell a drink. I was learning how alcohol work. And it was pretty cool. I was helping strippers sometimes get dances and all this. Like, set up a whole assist so for somebody can get the slam dunk. It was pretty cool. I was not uncomfortable at all. I thought it was pretty cool. After that, I ended up going to jail. What else? Ended up trying to go to jail, trying to run away. I'm old, but I was trying to run away. What else? I had a mental breakdown. 1 second. Hello? Alright, I took a quick break, so if I'm off topic, that's why. I was talking about jobs. I can't remember where I was. But yeah, working in those places so far, I mean, the last place I worked was at the movies. It was an up-class movie where, I mean, it's like a dine-in movie. You eat, you dine in. They have a bar in the movies, and people, you have to be seated. You can't just walk in the movie theater and find your own seat. You have to be seated. You basically, it's like a big grand movie hall. Dang. Ooh, excuse me. And then now my job is yeah, I farted. My job is a mama right now. I'm still hoping to get my own place so I can work towards getting a job, because this little man needs it. But as of right now, I'm just being a mama, and I'm trying to continue to ramble and talk my head off, because it hasn't turned off yet. When when you work those mini jobs and they started off fun, like I said, and then you have to force it, that's when I tend to black out and back out. I'm hoping that I will eventually get over that, or find something that I like to do where I don't have to back out and black out on forcing anything. That's why I said at the beginning, I'm not going to try to force any rambling. Nope, because when I start to force it, I just know how I am. It becomes a chore, and chores are for whores. You feel me? But yeah, that's the ramble for today. I'm going to end the ramble off on a good note, hopefully, and applesauce. Applesauce is lit. I eat applesauce every morning for a small breakfast. I promise it curbs the appetite, and it's a fruit serving. Also, along with some nuts too. Sometimes cashews, sometimes pistachios, sometimes just peanuts, sometimes walnuts. But those in a couple of cups of applesauce, strawberry or original, it makes for a good breakfast, okay? Alright? It really does. And that's all. Bye.